And first up, our top focus in Andhra Pradesh, where the former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy is landing in big trouble as he has been booked in the culpable homicide case after his convoy crashed into a man and he died. Now, convoy accident case has spiraled. Meanwhile, Jagan Mohan Reddy met the victim's kin. Afterwards, victim's kin alleged foul play in the case and said that he sustained minor injuries after the accident. But how did he die? This is what happened. This is what has happened in ambulance. This is what the family is demanding answers from the Chandrababu Naidu government. But Chandrababu Naidu has attacked YSRCP, claiming that there is a cover-up bid by Jagan Mohan Reddy and the YSRCP is pressurizing family to save Jagan, hence pressurizing the family to save him. Now, Jagan's car, remember, ran over this man in Andhra Pradesh during his convoy. The visuals are on your screens, after which the political war of words escalated. Take a look.
పోతుంటే కారు కింద మనిషి పడిపోతే వాళ్ళ కార్యకర్తే పడిపోతే తీసి కుక్క పిల్లమారుగా బయట పడేసి నేరుగా వెళ్ళిపోతే సకాలానికి హాస్పిటల్ తీసుకుపోలేక అతను చనిపోతే ఆయన భార్యని పిలిపించి యాజ్ యూజువల్ మేనేజ్ చేసి మా ఆయనకు కారు కింద పడితే ఏమీ కాలేదు, అంబులెన్స్ లో తీసుకపోతే ఏదో అయిపోయిందని చెప్పి పరిస్థితి వచ్చారంటే ఈ నేరస్తుల్ని ఏమనాల తమ్ముళ్ళు అని మిమ్మల్ని అడుగుతున్నా. ఎన్ని డ్రామాలు నా జీవితంలో ఎప్పుడు చూడలేదు. కోడికత్తి డ్రామా, కడానా కోడికత్తి డ్రామా కూడా నా మీద పెట్టే పరిస్థితి, గులకరాయి డ్రామా.
Quite a dramatic development in the case booked against former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. He was named A2 in a case of culpable homicide regarding the death of Chili Singaya, a 55-year-old YSRCP worker who had died after reportedly coming under the wheels of a car in which Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy was travelling on June 18. Shortly after meeting with the former Chief Minister, Chili Singaya's family and his wife, Lordu Mary, in fact, raised very serious kind of doubts about the circumstances under which Chili Singaya had died. She said her husband had suffered only minor injuries in the hand and in the shoulder, and why should he die like that? And she in fact asked the question about what had happened inside the ambulance. She says YSRCP workers had tried to shift him to hospital, but the police had insisted that he should be taken only in an ambulance, and therefore they had waited in the ambulance, and she is now asking what happened inside the ambulance that caused his death. She also says that the police had subsequently come to her home and shown her certain videos. She also says some 50 people barged into her home, and she says she had asked who they were and they had introduced themselves as Lokesh's men, and she says she had felt intimidated and they had asked her to sign certain documents, and she also says that she had remained silent at that time. Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has reacted to these developments, saying that a party that had been very careless and they had allowed a party worker who had come under the wheels of the car, they had set him aside like a puppy, and because he arrived late in hospital, he had died. And now he said the wife had been managed. That's the word that the Chief Minister used, saying that as usual had been managed. And he was suggesting that they were trying to save the former Chief Minister who has been accused in this particular case. Must point out that while Jagan Mohan Reddy had filed a plea in court asking for the FIR to be quashed against him, he had got a stay against coercive action or against his being arrested till the 1st of July.
And now shifting our focus to Karnataka, where Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has made it clear he issued a strong message to party loyalists of DK Shivakumar, saying that he will remain the Chief Minister for the next 5 years as well. Now, nodding in agreement, Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar said what option does he have, hinting that all is not well between the Karnataka Congress. Meanwhile, in a show of unity, Siddaramaiah and DK's chaired a press conference after the big cabinet meet that took place today, where several name changes were announced, after which the BJP has attacked Congress of misusing its power. Take a look at the political reactions coming in.
ನೀವು ತಾವು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಸಿಎಂ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಹೌದು, ನಾನೇ. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಯಾರು? ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರು ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಅವರು ಸರ್. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅಶೋಕ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ.
to stand by him and support him. And I don't have any objection to it. Whatever the party recommend tells and whatever he desires, it will be fulfilled.
You mean sir, currently the party is not backing you sir right now because your supporters said you have sacrificed so much for the party. You brought the party to power in the state.
I don't want to discuss anything. All
ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಅದೇನೋ ಮಾರಿ ಕಣ್ಣು ಹೋರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಕಣ್ಣು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರನ್ನ 4 ಭಾಗ ಹೊಡಿತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಈಗ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಂತ ಹೆಸರದು, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಂತ ವೆರಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅದು. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಒಂದು ಕೋಟ್ಯಾಂತರ ಜನದ ಹತ್ರ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ. ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೊಡೆದಾಕೊಂಡು ಮನಮೋಹನ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕಂಡ್ಲಾ?
Well, with the kind of statements that have come in from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, it's very clear that the High Command for now has managed to somewhere contain the situation. Now, the operative word here is contain, because this is something that could explode, or should I rather say implode, is the question, because aspirations are not dead. From the statement of Mr. D.K. Shivakumar is very clear when he says, I have no option but to right now comply. That means there is, of course, an aspiration, but at the moment he does not probably sense an opportunity, and when there is no opportunity to push harder would only mean that it could create problems for him within the party in the future as well, not just now. As far as the High Command is concerned, they're left with 2 options at this point in time: whether they will actually go ahead and make a change because of this chorus that's growing and look at the future of the party and say, well, we probably need a younger leader in the run up to 2028 because probably Mr. Siddaramaiah is not going to lead the party then, or they will think about it from the lines of not wanting to disrupt the camaraderie with which the Congress is operating here in Karnataka. Because if they do disrupt the situation right now, it could have a big bearing on 2028 and could create a wide opening for the BJP, and that's exactly what the High Command does not want. So it's a dilemma of sorts that they are in. For now, they maintain there is no question of leadership change and it is going to be status quo.
And shifting focus now to the sharp reactions after another case of alleged custodial death in Tamil Nadu took place. The state government, in what is seen as a damage control measure, swiftly appointed Naveen Kumar, the brother of the victim Ajit Kumar, a temple priest who died in the police custody in Tamil Nadu. The government has given his brother a government job. Now, under sharp political attack over the case from the opposition, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had met the family of the victims yesterday. In fact, the CM even apologized to the family, and 5 police officials were also suspended in the case. But the opposition continues to attack Stalin government. In fact, TVK Chief Vijay today met the victim's kin. And viewers at NDTV, we demand end of this VVIP culture and hooliganism. Hence, NDTV campaign India Against VIP Thugs is asking you to raise your voice against any injustice. Time to show these power corrupt political leaders the real power of people. In fact, a food stall owner in Maharashtra's Thane district was beaten up allegedly by MNS workers for not speaking in Marathi. The video of this incident has gone viral. The political leaders have attacked Raj Thakra's party, demanding answers why this hooliganism and why are these people scot-free under the government's watch. Now, there are political reactions coming in and other reactions. Take a look.
हमारी भूमिका स्पष्ट है, मराठी के लिए कट्टर और हिंदुत्व और हिंदुस्तानी भाषा में प्रखर, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की भूमिका है। हम महाराष्ट्र में कट्टरता से मराठी बात करेंगे, लेकिन और कोई भाषा का अपमान और कोई भाषा के व्यक्ति का अपमान सहन नहीं करेंगे। कोई भी कानून हाथ में ले ये सरकार मान्य नहीं करेगी।
देखो, हम सबका कहना है कि आप किसी को मार नहीं सकते, आप गुंडागर्दी नहीं कर सकते। उस व्यक्ति को अगर बताना है कि तुझे मराठी आनी चाहिए, सीखनी चाहिए, तो आप शांति से उसको बताओ, संवाद करो, उसके माध्यम से अगर वो समझ लेगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। लेकिन आप अगर संविधान को हाथ में लेते हो, मारा पीटी करते हो, तो वो अच्छी चीज नहीं है। बताना है तो शांति से भी हम बता सकते हैं, लेकिन ये जो हिंदी सख्ती जो होने वाली थी 1st स्टैंडर्ड से 5th स्टैंडर्ड तक, उसका विरोध हम सबने किया। हम लैंग्वेज का विरोध नहीं करते।
महाराष्ट्र प्रगत राष्ट्र है, प्रगत राज्य है, और यहाँ पर लोग रोजगार के लिए आते हैं, हम उनका स्वागत करते हैं। लेकिन हम जहाँ भी जिस राज्य में आप जाते हो, उस राज्य की संस्कृति का सम्मान करना चाहिए, वहाँ की भाषा सीखनी चाहिए। तो जो लोग महाराष्ट्र में आते हैं उनका स्वागत है, उनको रोजी रोटी यहाँ मिलती है, तो उन्होंने यहाँ की संस्कृति और यहाँ की मराठी भाषा दोनों का सम्मान करना चाहिए। लेकिन मारपीट कर ये हासिल नहीं होगा। यह हासिल तो प्यार मोहब्बत से, सबको गले लगाकर, सबको अपना मानकर ही होगा। तो मारधाड़ के पक्ष में तो कांग्रेस कभी थी नहीं और कभी रहेगी भी नहीं। कानून व्यवस्था है, ये राज्य का विषय है।
सबसे पहले मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूं बाबूलाल जी, हुआ क्या था? किस बात को लेकर 5 लोगों को लगा कि अकेले आपके ऊपर इस तरीके से वो हमला कर सकते हैं?
सर है ना, 29 तारीख को शाम को 10 बजे का टाइम था। मंच पार्टी का है ना, हमारे जोधपुर स्वीट के सर्कल के सामने पूरा है ना 100-125 आदमी सब है ना झंडा लेके, सब उनका कुछ प्रोग्राम था। वो सर्कल के जोधपुर स्वीट के सामने सर्कल पे 10 बजे से सब प्रोग्राम कर रहे थे। और अचानक है ना 10:30 बजे 7-8 आदमी हमारी दुकान पे आते हैं और डायरेक्ट है ना गले पे जाते हैं और मेरे पास आते हैं और मेरे को बोलते हैं, जो आप दुकान चलाते हैं, आपके जो स्टाफ है हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं, आपकी दुकान कौन से स्टेट में है? तो मैंने बोला हमारा दुकान महाराष्ट्र में है। उसके बाद में उन्होंने बोलते हैं कि कानपुर महाराष्ट्र में कौन सी भाषा बोली जाती है? तो मैंने बोला कि सर महाराष्ट्र में सभी भाषाएं बोली जाती है। इतना कहने के बाद है ना वो सब है ना जो मंच के कार्यकर्ता है सब मिलके मेरे को एक साथ में मेरे को मारते हैं और अच्छी तरह से है ना 10-15 मिनट तक मेरे को मारते रहते हैं। और उसके बाद में सामने से है ना बाद में 7-8 आदमी और आते हैं और हमको छुड़वाते हैं। सर है ना हम मीरा रोड में है ना सर कम से कम 20-25 साल से धंधा करते हैं। हम मराठी भाषा और कहने का मतलब महाराष्ट्र हमारा कर्म भूमि है, हम उनका स्वागत करते हैं, हम लोग उनका आदर करते हैं। हमारे में ऐसा कुछ नहीं मराठी के खिलाफ, हम लोग हमारे व्यापारी भी मराठी है। लेकिन इन्होंने जो मेरे साथ में जो किया, मैं तो एकदम फ्रेंडली उनसे बात कर रहा था और अचानक है ना ऐसे बोलना खाली कि सभी भाषाएं बोली जाती है, पर वो लोग है ना सब मिलके एकदम अचानक मेरे ऊपर धावा बोल देते हैं।
जी, किसी के साथ भी इस तरीके से घटना होगी तो आदमी जाहिर सी बात है डर जाएगा, सहम जाएगा। आप को भी अब इस बात का डर है? मतलब पहली बार मुंबई में रहते हुए आपको डर का एहसास हुआ कि आपके आसपास के लोग ही इस तरीके से आप पे हमला कर देंगे?
हाँ जी, जैसा हमला किया ना साहब, अभी ये काम करो, जो मैं दुकान में जो हमला हुआ है ना, वो दुकान में 3 दिन से मैं जाने बंद कर दिया। मेरे को ऐसा डर हो रहा है और ऐसा मेरा दिल अंदर से है ना मेरा टूट गया है और ऐसा है ना मेरे बेइज्जती के हो गया था। पूरा है ना जो वीडियो उन्होंने है ना पूरा वायरल किया और एकदम मैं एकदम दिल से है ना वो गिर गया है साहब।
जी, मैं आपसे शुरू करूंगा। ये जो 5 लोग हैं आपके पार्टी के, जो एक दुकानदार जिसका नाम है बाबूलाल चौधरी, उस पर हमला किया, थप्पड़ मारा, उसको गाली दिया, क्या ये आप इसको सपोर्ट करते हैं? ये जो एक्शंस हैं आप इसको सपोर्ट करते हैं?
क्या है ना आपको नमस्ते। सबसे पहले
नमस्ते।
कैसा है ना, हाँ, कोई भी अगर हिंदी में बोल रहा है तो ऐसा नहीं होता है ना कि हम लोग गए और उनको थप्पड़ मारा, ऐसे नहीं होता है। उसके पहले क्या घटा है ना वो किसी ने नहीं दिखाया।
क्या घटा है?
ठीक है, उसके पहले क्या हुआ है,
क्या घटा है
कि इसके पहले जो दुकान के मालिक है उन्होंने महाराष्ट्र में कोई भी भाषा बोली जा सकती है, सिर्फ मराठी छोड़ के।
नहीं,
ऐसा क्यों?
नहीं, किसने बोला है कि ये कंपलसरी है कि वो मराठी में ही बोलेंगे?
ये मराठी में क्यों नहीं बोलेंगे? लेकिन अगर महाराष्ट्र में
कहाँ जबरदस्ती है क्या? जबरदस्ती है क्या?
क्यों नहीं बोलेंगे?
जबरदस्ती है क्या?
आदर रखना चाहिए।
कोई कानून है कि मराठी में ही बात करनी है?
ये जबरदस्ती वाली बात सिर्फ महाराष्ट्र में पूछी जाती है।
आपके लोगों ने जबरदस्ती की है मैडम? आपके लोगों ने हाथ उठाया, उसको मारा। आपके पार्टी के जो 5 कायर हैं जिन्होंने हाथ उठाया इस दुकानदार
आप इस
पर,
भाषा में बात नहीं कर सकते।
वो
हमारे
बुक हो
पार्टी
गए
में कोई
अभी।
भी नहीं, हमारे पार्टी में कोई भी कायर नहीं है।
किसने हक दिया हाथ उठाने के लिए? किसने हक दिया? कहां पे कानून में लिखा है कि मराठी में ही का बात करनी है? किसने हक दिया आपके लोगों को?
करनी है मुझे बताओ ना, मराठी में क्यों नहीं बात करना है? ये भी कानून में लिखा नहीं है ना।
अरे मैडम, आपको
लिखा नहीं है ना कि
आपको
आप
पावर
मराठी में
किसने
बात
दी
नहीं कर
है?
सकते।
आप तो पावर में नहीं है, आप तो सरकार में नहीं है और बिल्कुल शायद नहीं होंगे भी।
मैं मराठी
तो किसने दिया आपको हक कि किसी और नागरिक पर हाथ उठाने का?
यहाँ पे अगर आप रोजी रोटी कमाने आते हो तो यहाँ की भाषा का, यहाँ का
किसने बोला? कहाँ लिखा है ये? कहाँ लिखा है ये?
क्यों नहीं? संस्कृति
कहाँ लिखा है ये?
लिखा है क्या?
आप कानून है क्या?
अपमान करना लिखा है
आप
क्या?
कानून है क्या?
मुझे बताइए, कानून में भी लिखा है
रेशमा जी,
क्या?
आप कानून है क्या? मुंबई के, महाराष्ट्र के
आप मुझे
आप कानून है क्या?
यहाँ पे सुनिए मेरी बात।
कितने सीट है आपके?
कौन से कानून में लिखा है कि महाराष्ट्र में आके मराठी भाषा का
किसने
अपमान
बोला है?
कौन से
किस कानून में? किस कानून? दो चीज, दो सवाल सुनिए मेरी।
सर,
दो सवाल मैडम।
कानून में लिखा है कि महाराष्ट्र में आके मराठी भाषा का अपमान करे? किस कानून में लिखा हुआ?
कौन सा अपमान किया है? वो हिंदी में बात कर रहे थे, इसमें क्या अपमान है? इसमें क्या अपमान है? इसमें क्या अपमान है? वो दुकानदार है जो महाराष्ट्र में 20 साल के लिए काम कर रहे थे, वो टैक्स भरते हैं महाराष्ट्र में।
फालतू की
आप कौन होते हो? आपके जो
मैं मराठी मानुस हूँ।
मैडम आपका थका हुआ जो संगठन है उसको उठाने के लिए ये सब आप गुंडागर्दी करते हो। आपके जो 5 कायर लोग हैं जिनके नाम है हमारे स्क्रीन पे,
हमारे पार्टी को एक तो सबसे पहले आपको कायर बोलने का राइट नहीं है।
वो 5 कायर है मैडम।
हमारे मन से
मैं फिर से बोलूंगा,
मुद्दे पे है।
सुनिए मैं फिर से बोलूंगा, वो 5 कायर है, उनका नाम भी लूंगा मैं फिर से। वो 5 कायर है क्योंकि वो अकेले नहीं लड़ सकते, वो अकेले नहीं लड़ सकते मैडम।
डोंबिवली में जब पर प्रांतीय लोगों ने मराठी कुटुंबों को मारा तब आपके न्यूज वाले कहां पे गए थे?
आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हो, आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हो। आज कोई सुनने वाला नहीं है आपकी बात।
कल की बात सर,
मुंबई के लोग थक गए हैं। मुंबई के लोग जो एमएनएस जैसा इर्रेलेवेंट संगठन है, डेस्परेशन में ऐसे हरकतें करती हैं, मामूली नागरिकों को लेकर हमला करते हैं। क्या आप किसी उद्योगपति को लेकर आप मार सकते हैं? आपके गुंडों को भेजिए ना टफ परेड।
You heard the brazen defiance of the MNS leader. You heard the shopkeeper saying he's living in fear. This is India, where we take pride as unity in diversity. But some goons, some VIP goons, do not let us live in peace. My colleague Shivarur is also joining me with more with our NDTV campaign.
Now, what this NDTV campaign has really done is shine a light on something that strikes a chord with people all across the country. For how many decades has VIP culture, in this particular case, MNS goons wantonly slapping an innocent shopkeeper, all because he cannot or refuses to speak Marathi for whatever reason, raining blows on him, slapping him, and like every bully in this country, doing it in a group of 5 to 7 people. We've got their names. NDTV is the only channel taking their names, putting its weight behind a story that deserves attention, because VIP thuggery, people associated with political parties, the thugs of MLAs or serving politicians and elected representatives in different parts of the country, feeling so entitled that they can on camera assault people in this manner, just shows you how far we've actually fallen when it comes to Lal Batti culture, when it comes to the political inequities that define our society. But I think what NDTV's campaign has really done by naming and shaming Raj Thakre's goons, shining the light on the MNS and parties like it in Maharashtra, which have, instead of pointing their energies at the system, pointing their energies at innocent citizens, living their lives in peace and making a livelihood in a beautiful city like Mumbai, has sent out a national message. And I say that it has struck a chord because this kind of VIP entitlement and the casual violence perpetrated by people with power is something India has no place for anymore. And I think even though we've seen this kind of thing in the past, and here on NDTV as part of this campaign, we've counted at least 5 such instances in just the last few days. The names of these 5 people and their faces that we've put out on NDTV, and no other network has, mind you, really makes it the face of something that everybody wants to see the back of. We do not have any place for VIP culture. India will not tolerate VIP thuggery and goons of this kind any longer.
And now in the matter of the assaults to the BMC Additional Commissioner, the Odisha Administrative Officer Association has submitted a letter to the Chief Minister demanding an arrest of BJP leader Jagannath Pradhan. The association feels that he is the kingpin and the main man behind this attack, and this is a heinous attack on the officials. This also is a reminder of the risks and vulnerabilities faced by the members in the line of duty. Shifting our focus now to Maharashtra, where Transport Minister was seen in action as he exposed illegal plying of bike taxis in Maharashtra. Maharashtra Transport Minister Pratap Sarnaik on Wednesday exposed the illegal plying of bike taxis by booking a ride in Mumbai using a different name, an investigation that laid bare the department's official version of strict compliance in the state. Now, the minister booked a ride using Rapido app to verify the senior's claim of the official, and then he booked it. When the driver came, he slammed the driver and asked questions. Why is illegal bike taxi allowed on Mumbai streets? With that, we are slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. Right up after the break, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a Ghana visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Ghana on a 2-day visit, during which he will hold talks with the West African country's top leadership. He held a bilateral meeting just moments from now on and reviewed the strong bilateral partnership between the two countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was given a guard of honor upon his arrival at the airport and also received a grand reception from the Indian diaspora. This is the Prime Minister's first ever bilateral visit to Ghana. It is also the first prime ministerial visit from India to Ghana in 3 decades. PM Modi held bilateral talks with President of Ghana, and this just happened moments ago. The duo discussed strengthening ties between the two nations. The visuals of the bilateral meet are on your screens. Now from Ghana, Modi will travel to Trinidad and Tobago on a 2-day visit from July 3 to 4. In the 3rd leg of his visit, Prime Minister will visit Argentina from July 4 to 5. In the 4th leg of his visit, Prime Minister will travel to Brazil to attend the 17th BRICS Summit, followed by a state visit. And in the final leg of his visit, Prime Minister will travel to Namibia as well. And now in some good news, several Pakistani YouTube channels and Instagram accounts have been unblocked in India weeks after a ban was imposed in the wake of the deadly Pahalgam terror attack that killed 26 people. The move had targeted both mainstream media and celebrity accounts, citing concerns over misinformation and anti-India rhetoric. Now, some platforms, including those of Shoaib Akhtar and Abida Parveen, are back online. However, accounts of actors like Fawad Khan and Hania Amir remain inaccessible in India. There's been no official statement, however, from the government yet on the rollback. And as Sitare Zameen Par skyrockets in Indian cinemas, we spoke exclusively to Amir Khan. Take a look at what the actor had to say on the success of his recent movie.
इतने खुश चेहरे देख रहा हूँ मैं, और जिस तरह लोग मतलब the film is really touching a deep chord with people, and that's making me and the entire team very happy.
How was the response inside?
Yeah, wonderful. The kids are loving it.
We are getting teary-eyed whenever we are watching the film. How many times we watch it doesn't matter. Is it happening to you too? Because we have seen you.
Well, yeah, I do get very emotional very soon.